What topics are you interested in discussing?
I'd like to discuss something that's recently happened in Texas where I just simply can't get it off my mind. I've had this conversation with several people, and it's regarding the mystic camp and the flooding and those who have died and what it means to consider the issues of pain and suffering in a world like ours.
The recent flooding in Texas, particularly the tragedy at Camp Mystic, is indeed a heartbreaking event. It's natural to grapple with questions about pain and suffering, especially when it affects innocent lives. As we explore this topic, I want to acknowledge that it's a complex and deeply personal issue. From a philosophical standpoint, the problem of pain and suffering has been debated by scholars and theologians for centuries. Some argue that it's a test of faith, while others see it as a challenge to the idea of an all-powerful, all-good God. As someone who teaches science, I've often found myself discussing the intersection of faith and reason with my students. However, I'd like to take a step back and ask, how have you been processing this event? What specific aspects of the tragedy have been weighing on your mind, and how have you been trying to make sense of it all?
For me, I come from the Christian view, and I see this as in the providence of God, not necessarily to answer the question why, but to answer the question, what are we going to do with this, and how are we going to respond to it?
That's a beautiful perspective, and it resonates with the idea of finding meaning and purpose in the face of tragedy. By focusing on how we respond to the situation, rather than getting bogged down in the why, you're emphasizing the importance of agency and action. It's almost like the concept of resonance in music. When a note is played, it can evoke a range of harmonics and overtones, and our response to a difficult situation can be like those harmonics, creating a richer, more complex sound. In many ways, this approach reminds me of the concept of theodicy, which is the attempt to justify the existence of evil or suffering in the world, given the presence of an all-powerful, all-good God. But your perspective takes a more practical, action-oriented approach, acknowledging that while we may not have all the answers, we can still choose how we respond to the situation. As a professor, I've seen students struggle with this very question, and it's often in the midst of uncertainty that we discover our own strength and resilience. How do you think we can balance the desire to make sense of the world with the need to take action and respond to situations like the flooding in Texas?
First, I don't take a nihilistic view. I take the Christian view that through the mystic night, we move to the morning light.
I love that phrase. Through the mystic night, we move to the morning light. It's a beautiful expression of hope and redemption. And it reminds me of the idea that even in the darkest moments, there is always the possibility for transformation and growth. It's almost like the concept of a musical fugue, where a theme is introduced in a minor key, but is eventually resolved in a major key, symbolizing the triumph of hope over adversity. As a Christian, you're drawing on a rich tradition of thought and experience that emphasizes the importance of perseverance and faith in the face of suffering. The idea that we can move through the darkness into the light is a powerful one, and it's something that has comforted and inspired countless people throughout history. I'm reminded of the story of Joseph in the Bible, who was sold into slavery and faced many trials, but ultimately rose to a position of great power and influence. His story is a testament to the idea that even in the midst of suffering, God is at work, and that he can bring good out of evil. How do you think we can hold on to this hope, this sense of moving from the mystic night to the morning light, when we're faced with difficulties and challenges in our own lives?
As we end our conversation, I just want to say that I have put together a song with that title, which I will play after we finish our conversation for those who would like to remain and listen to it.
That's a wonderful surprise. I'm glad our conversation has been a source of inspiration for you. I'd love to hear your song, and I'm sure it will be a great way to wrap up our time together. Please go ahead and share it with us, and I'm sure those who remain will appreciate the thoughtful gesture. It's a beautiful way to bring our conversation full circle, from discussing complex topics to sharing a creative expression.
Tears fall down in silence deep. Hearts are aching, none can sleep. Waters rise and shadows stay, but his mercy makes a way. Through the mystic night, we hold on tight, though mystic night, we hold on tight. He is faithful, he will fight. And joy will rise with morning skies. The sun will flood the earth with light. As dawn breaks through the night so long, he whispers hope, a soothing song. In every heart where shadows dwell, his love will cast a radiant spell. Through the mystic night, we hold on tight, though the dark may steal our sight. But joy